Hi, my name is Trey Mayfield, and today we're going to go over just a basic setup and introduction to the LS IS7 VFD. From the factory as a standard, this drive comes with 8 digital inputs, 2 analog inputs, 2 relay outputs, and 2 analog outputs, as you can see by the terminal strip here. Now I have the front cover off so I can show you where my IOs are landed. And obviously the keypad is not mounted where it normally is. As you can see here, the keypad is a basic LCD 3-line display. It gives you several buttons, an escape key, mode, an enter key, and multi-key, as well as a forward and reverse and stop button for local control. Your I/O terminals are fairly standard terminals for all your IOs. This is where you can see where I have my controls landed currently. When you first power up the drive after receiving it, it gives you the option of an easy setup, which is a very nice feature. For what I'm going to do is just hit enter on yes, and it takes you through the most basic of features to get it going. So your motor capacity, motor poles, rated voltage of your motor, your frequency select, your input voltage, and command source. This keypad gives us a mode button, and there's 4 basic modes on this drive. The first mode is the monitor mode, which that shows up in the left-hand corner of the display. So as I hit mode, we go to the next mode, which is parameter mode, which gives you all the changes that you make to your parameters. The next mode is the trip mode, which tells you all the things that were going on during the last trip that happened. And you also have your configure mode, which gives you basic configuration things. Now for our example, I have a little box here of switches in the speed pot, and I've got them connected to my I/O terminals, and we're going to use just a basic dry contact switch for our start stop and a speed potentiometer for our frequency command. So from the factory, this drive is actually set to receive the frequency reference through the keypad. So from the very beginning here, if I wanted to set my frequency reference, I would hit enter, and you can see it's asking me for a certain frequency reference, so I'll just put 20 Hertz for now. But generally you're going to want to use the I/O terminals. So let's go over how to get into that group. So to change parameters, we're going to go to the parameter mode. Let's go over how to change our analog input from the keypad itself to speed pot. So I know from the manual that that is in the basic drive parameters. And we're going to scroll down to 7. If you see, it says frequency reference source. So if I hit the enter key, right now it's set to keypad, which we've seen. I have my reference landed on terminal V1, which is one of the analog input terminals. I'm going to hit enter on that, set that parameter. Now when we just hit escape and go back to the main screen, you can see that now my drive follows my speed pot. And when I make my on switch here, we should see the drive take off and run. Now in the parameter mode, there are several different parameter groups. So to get to that, we would hit the mode button until we get to the parameters, as you can see. And that mode shows in the top left-hand corner. And then what we're going to do is hit the over arrow and to go to all the different parameter groups. So you have your drive group, your basic group, advanced features, several things including your inputs, outputs, communication. There's 12 different groups in this to kind of separate all the parameters and make it easy to set up. Now to go over one more example of how to change an I/O, I've also landed a switch on digital input P4. Remember, there's 8 digital inputs available here. So I want to change that to trip on external fault when I make that input. So all we're going to do is go to our mode button, mode, until we get to our parameter menu. And this particular set is in the input subgroup. So we'll scroll down until we get to P4 define. So I'm going to hit the enter key. And right now, as you can see, it's set to reset. Let's go to external trip, hit enter. We've now told the drive that when P4 goes high, we want it to trip on an external fault. And when I make my switch, you see that it trips on external trip. That requires a manual reset with the keypad here. Another thing that I'd like to go over that's interesting is your configuration mode on your keypad. So I'm going to hit mode until I get to configuration. And this gives you a lot of things you can play with, change your LCD keypad, that are nice for more for cosmetic type features. Like you can change what the 3 lines of your display is, other things like that. But another really nice feature here is that it has a parameter read and write, meaning you can save all the parameters that you currently have into this keypad, and then if you ever lost the drive or lost the data, you could always download the parameters from this keypad to the drive. Write means write to keypad. So if we go to parameter write, hit enter, and hit yes, now all the parameters that we've set inside the control board of this drive are now uploading to this keypad. And if we were ever to lose this drive or had multiple drives of the same type that we wanted to set up the same, we could use that keypad. We hope this gives you a good overview of the LS-IS7 VFD. As always, we're available for free technical support on the phone, or you can visit our website for more information.